Hello, buddy. How are you? And hope you are good. Now we are just going to see how the medicines are actually coming to the market. We are just buying some medicines due to some illness. We are just supposed to buy some medicines, right, in a market. But before the market, it has to be face some enormous amount of struggles. That let me see what all are there, and more than designing a drug, getting to the market is a major issue. Let me see what are they with this as an outline. Let me begin to the video, friends. Hope that you will enjoy it. Let me see that. First of all, we have to be clear what all are the medicines are already available for a specific kind of infection, or that specific target of work that you are planning to design a drug. Uh, then you have to be clear with your objectives, how the drug will be work, and if it is satisfied your objectives or not. With that, you have to be clear, you have a clear picture on it. Then you have to move for uh, in vitro diagnosis. In vitro diagnosis or nothing but an lab test. Actually, simply it's a lab test. Actually, we are just doing our urine or blood test, right? Biological sample test. At the end of the result, we will get that yeah, you have a positive or negative on a specific infection, or else you have this kind of protein or this kind of molecules, biomolecules in your sample. Like that, the test will be end. The same process will be done here also. Here they will see the and biological properties as well as and biomolecules what are they available in the drug. uh, with that, they will just correlate with the objectives and the need for the drug. They will just say yeah, this kind of biomolecules or else this kind of activities are present in this drug, so it will be suitable for the specific kind of infection. We will try that. Like that, they will propose and proposal to uh, but this in vitro diagnosis will be differ from lab test, from one specimen to other specimen or one drug to other drug, because we have an enormous amount of techniques, lab techniques to prove it. At the end of the result, it will be like yeah, it has this property or not. Like that only it will be ends up. For that, we have to be concentrate on more things. That too, it has to be from analyzed from the fundamental, from the top of the edge edge of the nook. Like that, it will be come to the end like that. And whatever may be the drug, it may be an mm, it may be a capsid or pills, or maybe in injections, or maybe in a form of solutions, and apoptosis, then creams, ointments, whatever may be. It must be undergone this process, and at the end only we will just get from the market. Let me see what all are they first. Before that, after in vitro conditions, animal model test is more important than that. Animal modeling is such a important thing on comparatively the lab, that means in vitro diagnosis. Because doing a test on lab animals is pretty much important thing before getting to the subject of human for clinical trials. Why we are just doing this process means, we are all the lab animals selectively we will take for clinical trial. They are similar, they carry a similar physiology of human body. So only we are just pretty much give a preference to do the process in an animal model. Actually, we are just using some frequently some of the lab animals. They are frog, and then mouse, then guinea pigs, as well as horse, mm, sometimes sheep, and finally the king of that animal model, who is nothing but our ancestors. They are monkey family, monkey, chimpanzee, gorilla. Like that we will use. Then it will be differ from the way of test, and as well as the track. It will be actually decided by the person who is actually doing a work on that. A professionals will be choose regarding to that drug, kind of drug or kind of infection. They will choose it. It will be like that, friends. uh, so while doing this animal modeling, it is not an easy thing, because for getting an animal modeling, you have to get a permission, a specific permission from the committee members, ethical committee members. Ethical committee members will be allow you to get a minimum amount of animal model only for a specific test. If it is required, they will just allow you for maximum five mouses. I think so. Maximum five mouses. And in the case of a big animal like a rabbit, such a things will be available for only two, one or two. Sometimes it may be a two or three, because it has to be a statistical data. It has to be comparatively. For comparison, it is minimum two is required, right? For that cases, they will just give an permission for two, minimum two. I think so. Then for these conditions, we have lots of issues too in that, because while maintaining a lab model animals, you have to be very careful on that maintenance. Maintenance will be a predominantly very high cost, highly costly, while maintaining those animal models, because whatever may be the conditions, whatever may be the conditions that you have, it is not a matter. While maintaining an animal, it has to be very clean and enjoyable life. It must be live such a kind of life, and it has to be live in AC from a birth towards death. It has to be in AC only. It's a good life, right? mm. And you have to be take care on it in a very careful way. If it gets tired, or else it will be get boring means, then you are supposed to play with that. It may also occur sometimes. And as well as you have to understand what are the needs are required for that specific animal model. uh, it may be a food. It you can also want to also understand its feelings, such as if it is feeling illness means, then you have to understand, because that cannot tell, right? In that situations, you have to be careful, and you have to clean the living space every day. It is more important. And you have to check a medical checkup for weekly once, at least weekly once, for all the animals, because with the with a proper veterinary doctor, because it is required for that animals, lab animals, because all those things are actually documented under documentation. They are just noted frequently. After this lab animal testing, then we will start to move into an real clinical trial. With the real clinical trial, we have some procedures too in that. First of all, you have to get an approval for that, for your proposal. What does that getting approval for your proposal means? A proposal, it contains how you are just using an animal model for your test. You are just going to keep for a few months, or how many days, those things, those conditions and that all will be coming under your proposal. The proposal must be overviewed or just diagnosed by committee members. At the end of the meeting, the committee members will be say, if it is the changes, you have to change it. Then if you got an approval, then your step 1 will be completed. Then you have to look out for an investors on your project. What about the investors? In this field, the investors are totally very difficult to reach, because lot of the corporates, as well as in big institutes, they are not showing interest on drugs, because it has too much of complication too while doing it. If it is get success, then it will be an pretty much good quality, and as well as a good business for here, for the persons who are climbed this process well, good and well. Let me see what all are they. Then you have to get some purpose to what all are, where you are just going to do your work in a company, or else you are just handling your work to other CRO. Those things has to be noted. And the person who is take care about the clinical trial, who is most responsible person in that, and who are the volunteers are involved in that process. What are the details that they have, that means their living area, the person's history, like that you have to be selectable. Then the most important thing, that you have to select a proper volunteer. The volunteer must be healthy, and he must be carry some good history. Clinical history must be there for the patient, because if he carries some good clinical uh, healthy healthy results only, then he can be able to tolerate the drug and use and results in a positive way. So such a kinds of volunteers only will be selected by a company or else corporate. In that case, uh, even though that volunteers also have some ethics too, already we had seen, right, for an animal, also for a simple uh, lab animal contains a lot of ethics. In that same case, humans also must be carry such a kind of ethics, right? They all are they are pretty much very helpful for him. If while doing this process, while doing this clinical trial, if the volunteer needs, he can move from that place, and he can drop the project and can move from that, because the corporate cannot stop him. But by the agreements, the corporates will be corner him. It may be an illegal thing, but legally you can just remove from that place, just move from the place, and you can enjoy your life. Actually, most of the times, these volunteers will be an persons from jail, because jail members, they cannot earn money, right? But they, most of the jail members may have a family. For the welfare of family, for earning money, they are just selecting such kind of clinical trials. They are just signing such a kind of clinical trials. They will provide a lot enough money for you also in that condition, and you can enjoy the complete days, how many days that you are under the observation. You can enjoy the days, because during those days, if you can just got a single headache also, they will just treat you in a ultimate way. It will be like a checkup for VIPs. In that range, it will be actually like that, because they are most responsible. If you had just done some adverse drug effect on your body due to the drug, they are only responsible. So at this stage, at the observation condition, if you got something illness to your body means, then you have to report them first. You should not go to any kind of clinics or else hospitals for checkup on your body, as well as they have to take care whatever the problem will be done. uh, it, it it has to be done like that, in a way. And for the period of time, it will be like that. Then we have to move that a specific kind of pathway. Actually, we have four phases in a clinical trial, actual human subject clinical trials. In that first stage, we will just take some lesser count of people only. That means some 20 to 100 peoples, 100 peoples of both the genders has been taken. For in this stage, we will just see that whether the drug is giving an effective result or not on a specific patient. Moreover, that we will just take and half a ratio of a dosage, because while doing an animal modeling, we will just take a double the dosage that we required. After that conclusion only, that half of a ratio or of a dosage only take given for the patients while doing researches in a human subject. Then it will be slowly increasing, and they will fix their um, dosage level in a human body, and they will observe for a period of time. In that observation, during that observation time, it will be you will be just getting some benefits to whatever that I had just mentioned in a before, like that. In a phase 2, the same process will be continued. If you are not, if you are getting some good number of results, or if you are not getting an bad results or adverse result against that drug, then the phase 2 will be started. In that phase 2, we will just begin with the 100 to 500 peoples will be taken for both the genders. The same process will be occurs here, and finally at the third stage, it will be some 1000 to 5000 peoples will be taken as a count. Actually, we are just came across these conditions because while going to a specific clinic, a doctor will be prescribed some specific kind of drugs. Those drugs will not be available at outer side at any kind of markets, but he can mention a specific kind of pharmacy. You can just get a drug from that. Such a kinds of drugs have more chances to be in a case of such a kind of things. That means it may be an clinical trial drug. It may be get tested by you in phase 3. If you are not getting any adverse effect on the drug, then it will be begins to the end process, that is phase 4. That phase 4, it is like doing some good work. What to say, that it will be actually released in a market. So you have to be clean